Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasibuke ama reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda ke futhi sikhuluma ngama celebrities kanye nama YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. You guys, uNonku no Jojo are classists. Okay? I said it. Okay? I said it on my channel. All right, it's my opinion, it's what I see. Those two are classists, and they are not classists because they are friends with each other. Ukuba classist kwabo is independent of each other, you know. Jojo is not influencing uNonku to be a classist. Nonku is not influencing Jojo to be a classist because they were like that before they became friends. You know, remember ukuthi this comment yokuthi you have a Mabusi vibe, it's a comment that has been around on Real Housewives of Durban in previous seasons referring to Mabusi, but the person that would say that comment is uNonku, and before uNonku became friends with Jojo. Okay, but last season there was a lot of attention given to how Jojo treated Mabusi because of course they had that explosive scene where Jojo threw water on Mabusi. Okay, and out of everybody in the room, she chose Mabusi because there was the person that she looked down on the most in the crew. Remember, they even had that sit down where Jojo was unreasonably asking Mabusi, where does she get the bags? You know, how does she get to hang out with them rich people when they don't know where she gets her money? She doesn't have a rich man. How can she afford all of these bags? She was questioning if the bags are real or not. Okay. She was questioning that on Mabusi, and everybody was like, Jojo is a classist. She just didn't understand what a woman can actually sometimes afford herself, okay? Because, of course, for her whole life, she couldn't afford herself. Jojo could not afford herself until Kelvin came and rescued her. So she couldn't understand that there are women out there who can make it for themselves. That's why it took a long time for Jojo to become friends with Nonku, because Nonku is another self-made woman, but they have a common thing where they do not want to be friends whom they think are not rich. Okay, Nonku, that is the reason why Nonku has begged for a friendship with Sorisha, with Annie, with Jojo, because she just did not want to be friends with Mabusi. She did not want to be friends with Ulasi, because of course their richness was questionable. She wanted to be friends, and she took a lot for her this season to fight so much for a friendship yake, not George. It's because it took a lot for her to get to a point where she is friends with Jojo, just one of them. The others are still not there. She's still trying to fight to be friends with them. Now she's fighting so hard for this friendship with Jojo because that's the only person she has afforded to build a friendship with, because of course she looked down when the producers try to put her to pair her up with Mabusi. She wouldn't have it. You know why? Because Mabusi was not rich enough. With this comment coming up this season, the girl is no longer on the show. You know, why are you shading other people using Mabusi's name now? You know, every time you want to indicate that somebody is not rich enough, somebody is not fit to be in the group, you're talking about the person being bringing Mabusi vibes here. I was starting to feel sorry for Nonku. I don't feel sorry for you, girl. Everything that is coming, let them dish it to you. let them dish it to you because you think you're better than people. What is that, guys? Because when she says you are bringing Mabusi vibes, she doesn't mean that Umbali is hot like Mabusi, for an example. She doesn't mean that. She doesn't mean Ugutumbali is as positive as Mabusi. No, it's not a positive comment. It's a negative comment. I thought that she was bringing a Mabusi vibe. Yes, and they are dishing it to you, and I'm like, yes, take it. I love you for the show, but I feel like this time I feel like Tata izikata zako abakunika zona because you are a classist. Lento, even her man was calling her on it ukuthi wena ushongo yini awumbukeli phansi omonye awushongo yini ukuthi umbukela phansi awushongo ukuthi akalutho umuntu. Yes, guys, I feel like they are classists. Nonku is right there with uLokhuzana uJojo. They feel the same. But I want to clarify that I do not feel like they influence each other. I don't. I don't feel like that, because I feel like Nonku felt like that way before she became friends with uJojo. So we cannot blame uJojo and say uJojo is an influence on Nonku when it comes to this issue. And the same time with uJojo, I feel like we cannot blame Nonku for influencing her, because she felt like that before they became friends with Nonku. I feel like there's a lot of conversations that are still going on in this group where they are still talking about the cast members that have lost the show, that have left the show, and I feel like Mabusi is probably one of those topics that come out a lot, and I feel like her name doesn't come up in a positive way. It's coming up when they are making fun of her, okay? But they didn't know that this season the newbies were coming to play, and the newbies were sitting there listening to these women making fun of Mabusi, and they were like, hey, let the games begin. And the games have begun, okay? I'm loving it this season, because if you said something about somebody, it's gonna come up this season. You're not gonna get away with it. I'm loving it, but I'm disappointed to Nonku that she still continues with this thing of looking down at people just because she thinks that they're not rich enough or whatever it is that she's thinking. But she's obviously not thinking anything positive about Mabusi. That's why she compared Mabusi kanye no Lokhuzana Nombali. Naye ke futhi umbali, I'm like, why are you upset because they are comparing you to Mabusi? And what do you think of Mabusi? What do you think of Mabusi? Why are you now so upset? Because they said that Mabusi, Umbali brings Mabusi vibes. I'm like, so what do you think of Mabusi? Why are you upset? Kangako ukuthi hayibo iphathi lika Mabusi niyalibona kodwa iphathi lika Mabusi niyalibona iphathi. I'm like namxosha kwi-show, so don't use her name. Deal with your own issues here. Deal with your own issues here. Ningalethi uMabusi here. But I love it, you guys. I don't want to lie. I'm not feeling sorry. In this episode, I did not feel sorry for Nonku, the way that Umbali treated Nonku, because I was like, yeah, take it, because you are still out here talking about Mabusi. You are still out here talking about Mabusi in a negative way. Yeah, thatha lokho abakunika kona, hola uholele imisebenzi yakho, because wena uklasa abantu, because they are a certain level. So basically Nonku, what she's saying was that when Umbali came to the group, she was, assessor, how rich is she? Is she fit to be in the group? And she was like, if it's another Mabusi, we're not doing it, because Tina, we are rich. That means that's what she was doing. She was like, later on, I thought she was bringing Mabusi vibes, but I know she's cool. Now you want to be friends with the woman. And Balu was like, no. It does not work like that. She was like, I know, it does not work like that. Not in my world. Kumkhoka siya confrontan. Umbali brought Umkhoka to Real Housewives of Durban. She was like, Imag, Umkhoka, cut Real Housewives. Cut Real Housewives. Action Umkhoka. She became Mamzobe. Umbali became Mamzobe. She was like, the Real Housewife uzongibingelela kanjani. Anyway, you guys, ngisazokwenza a full review, don't worry, sisazokhuluma ngayo. Anyway, I want to get this out of my system, because I usually don't want to be too emotional reviewing the full episode. So if something got to me, I usually make a separate video to just say with Haibu. I know, go take the dishes. It's all the dishes that they are dishing to you, because you deserve it. What did you say about Mabusi? They actually need to pay Mabusi for this episode. They must. Anyway, you guys, tell me what you think about this in the comments section, and also like the video before Puma. Gonna share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.